Hello all MRBers and welcome to another video with me, Mike McRock, and I am one half of the McRock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show. If you haven't been here before, hit that subscribe button down below this video, click the bell for notifications, and also you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Those links are in the description box down below this video. Let's talk about this week's previous episode on Wednesday night that it aired. It was WWE NXT for May 31st, 2017. This show was not bad. There wasn't much to it, but I'll get into all of the segments on the show. The show kicked off with Tommaso Ciampa cutting a promo talking about an injury that he sustained the Thursday before TakeOver Chicago, saying that the fans were talking about who should replace Ciampa with Johnny in the ladder match with the Authors of Pain. And when he was asked if he was able to wrestle for TakeOver, he already had his answer, which was a yes, because DIY was all about them against the world, and if he was going to be out for an injury, he's going to make sure that Johnny Wrestling will be out of action as well, and that's why he turned on him. And as far as his explanation goes, I like that he feels that his actions are justified on turning on Gargano. It wasn't much about turning on him. Oh, I'm going to turn on you. No, he had an explanation and a reason for it, and in his mind, his actions feel justified, that he doesn't see himself as a bad guy. And to me, that's what makes good bad guys. And we get to see a bit of that Psycho Killer show up in the last few seconds of that promo where he got mad and angry. He feels like he's pissed off. He feels his pain emotionally as well as physically with the injury. He's actually selling it in the ring. And it sucks that he's going to be out for like several months. It really does. But it could be a blessing in disguise, because a story like this needs to play out well enough so that it won't feel rushed. Let the storytelling of this feud take its time to build. I think this was the best thing that happened on the show this week, was that promo with Tommaso Ciampa. And then we got to see a match between the UK crowd. It was Pete Dunne, the United Kingdom champion, versus Danny Burch. This was a non-title match, and there's really not much to talk about this match other than that Pete Dunne looks really strong in this match. And as far as Danny Burch goes, to me, he still feels like a jobber. You know, if NXT is going to make something out of him, I'll be fine with that. But for now, he's not really doing anything for me. But as far as Pete Dunne goes, he looks good. He looks legit. I actually feel something with Dunne. And to me, he's the right guy to hold the United Kingdom champion right now. And we also got to see a little thing going on between Hideo Itami and Cassius Ohno. And this all came about shortly after Hideo Itami lost to Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship at TakeOver Chicago, where he was backstage. He was pissed off that he didn't win. He's throwing things all over the place. He's in Cassius Ohno's face, and he's like mouthing something, and they bleep it out. And I think it was like something in Japanese that he was saying. And then on this week's show, we see them outside of the arena, and they shake hands, they make amends, but I'm not really buying it. I think that NXT is going to turn Hideo Itami heel. I think it's much needed for his character. I think he actually might do good as a heel. I think they actually might do that. I think it actually might work for him. Now let's get to the next match. To me, this match wasn't all that good. It was Cesar Bonnet versus CN. The CN almost was all over in this match. I feel like that this match was the weakest on the show, because the way they executed the finish of the match didn't have that wow surprise factor that it could have. And I think what they should have done here was give Cesar Bonnet the Baron Corbin treatment, because when Corbin had that debut match a long time ago with CJ Parker, you know, people got a taste of what Baron Corbin was all about, using a finisher, a big man move finisher, to end the match. And what they've done here with this really tall big guy with something there, they haven't beat CN with a small package. I think if a big man's going to end a match with something, at least use an impactful move that we either never seen before or hasn't been done in a long time, because a small package, it doesn't suit a big guy like Cesar Bonet, and it's one of the most cliche finishes ways to be your opponent. Just do something that makes the fans legit pop for you. But this was really more about Cien losing over Bonet winning, because it seems like NXT is trying to work an angle with Cien where he just shrugs off losses and that they mean nothing to him and just wants to party all night. And I'm not sure what this is leading to. Is this leading to Cien's departure? I don't know, but I guess at least it's something for Cien. At least they're working an angle with them. I don't know what angle it is, but I'm not sure if I like it either. But I'll wait to see how this all plays out. Then we get to the main event, and that was Sanity. It was Eric Young and Alexander Wolf versus Roderick Strong and Cassius Ohno. When I look at a guy like Cassius Ohno, I'm not sure what I see. I'm just not latching onto his character as much as NXT wants me to. And as far as Roderick Strong goes, he's slowly growing on me. Slowly. And as far as this match goes, this was an okay main event. Roderick Strong gets the pinfall victory over Eric Young. How it was done, I didn't mind. It was a good surprise to see No Way Jose come back to even the odds. That was a really good surprise. And to me, that was the best part of the segment, because the match itself wasn't anything that was special or anything to be in the main event. It just seemed like that this match was thrown in the last minute because the show needed a main event, and it didn't come across very well. But like I said, No Way Jose coming out added something to the segment that was much needed for it. Overall, this week's episode of NXT, like I said, had not much to it at all. And the only thing that was, to me, that was remotely pretty good was the promo segment with Ciampa. Everything else after that just didn't live up to that first segment. Everything else just seemed like the matches on the show felt like filler matches. But it did have a good segment with Bobby Roode, where he's talking about a party and everyone's not invited. It's VIPs only, but he will be on the show. So there is something to look forward to next week. And also the possible teasing of Hideo Itami turning heel. It wasn't a terrible show, but it wasn't the best that NXT can produce in an hour. That's okay, because at this point, this is NXT trying to start new, fresh feuds to bring to the next TakeOver special. So I'm going to be fair for this show, and I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5. If you saw this week's episode of NXT, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave those comments right here in the comment section below. And you can also hit that subscribe button down below this video as well to become an MRB here on this wrestling review show.